After a week of mass cancellations that left passengers stranded and angry.
A man pushing a wheelchair is killed in a hit and run on Chicago's South Side. Another man is left seriously injured.
On this final Friday of 2022, it is a mild start to the day as we prepare to ring in the new year.
Live from Chicago's #1 news, ABC7 Eyewitness News at 7 starts streaming now.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Tanya Babbage.
And I'm Samantha Chapman in for Terrell. Val has the day off, and this is the last streaming show of 2022.
Yeah. What an honor.
Right.
We get to hang together for it and with all of you.
Yes.
And we have a special cameo.
Me?
Yes, you.
It's not me.
And this guy. And
it is me?
over here.
It's the weekend crew on the streaming site, on the streaming show.
I like playing with different people. It's fun.
Okay.
Yes.
There we go. Yeah. Well, we do too, Tanya.
Thank you for joining us in this playground today.
Variety is the spice of life, right? So you're spicing it up today. Temperatures early this morning running at about the mid to upper 30s and lower 40s behind the front. That is the big difference maker. And they're going to basically flatline right around about 39 or 40 degrees as we head into this afternoon as that front works its way through. Lower 50s out off to the east right now, northwest Indiana. Those are going to fall very quickly as that front does finally get all the way through and you get done with your rainfall, light rain here today to kick it off in northwest Indiana. Roads are wet just about everywhere. Just be careful of that as you head on out. Temperatures, they fall again to upper 30s, lower 40s. That's where they stay for a good chunk of the day before dipping down below freezing. But this is one of the only below freezing days in the entire 7-day forecast. We'll check out that whole outlook coming up. Jeremy?
Well, I could say it's not me unless Chopper 7HG wants to fly a little bit east to the home studios, and we can see that. Hey, good morning, everybody. So we're taking a look at 55 southbound over at just before Black Road, where crews are finally picking up a stalled truck that is in the center lane. It's been causing problems for a while, too. Your left lanes are taken out, so I'd expect in the next 5 minutes for that to get better. You're seeing delays all the way back from Caton Farm Road. New problems in Maywood. That delay is just awful. Maywood, 5th and Erie, we're hearing reports of a fire in that stretch, so I'll expect additional crews on Lake Street and 5th. Also, if you are traveling out and about, really, it's a nice calm day. If you're traveling to O'Hare, might expect a 1 or 2 minute backup on the 190 headed towards the airport, to 55 northbound ramp to the inbound Dan Ryan. That is also tight, Tanya.
Jeremy, I'll take it from here. Thank you so much. Right now, Southwest Airlines is hoping to resume normal operations. The key word is hoping. Now, this comes after days of massive cancellations that left people stranded in cities across the country.
At Midway Airport this morning, we found very few lines, actually. Of course, it is expected to get busier as people try to travel to other locations for the New Year's Eve holiday. ABC's Justin Finch joins us live from Washington with a closer look at next steps for Southwest. Justin.
Good morning, and we are seeing much fewer cancellations and delays for Southwest this morning compared to what we saw earlier this week. The airline's now apologizing this morning as it scrambles to reboot operations after canceling thousands of flights, and they are now facing the very tough task of winning back their customers' trust. Starting today, Southwest Airlines aims to end the travel nightmare impacting customers nationwide.
My personal apology is the first step of making things right.
The air carrier releasing a statement saying, "We are encouraged by the progress we've made to realign crew, their schedules, and our fleet." Southwest has canceled more than 15,000 flights since last week, likely impacting more than 1 million travelers in what's being called one of the worst airline meltdowns in U.S. history.
I've never seen anything like this. This is absolutely crazy.
Many stranded Southwest customers have spent days without their luggage, forced to cover unforeseen expenses out of pocket. Southwest is urging impacted travelers to submit receipts on its website, saying it will honor reasonable requests for reimbursement for meals, hotel, and alternate transportation from those whose flights were canceled or significantly delayed between December 24th and January 2nd. The airline also pledging to reimburse customers' unused tickets during that same window. The U.S. Department of Transportation already investigating Southwest, also vowing to hold the carrier accountable for those reimbursements.
I'm assigning U.S. DOT resources to follow through on every complaint that comes in to make sure that you get compensated.
And one question has been, how much will all of this wind up costing Southwest? Well, a service disruption of just 4 days back in October of 2021 led to more than 2,000 cancellations, and that at the time cost Southwest some $75 million. Back to you.
It's also going to cost them the trust of their passengers. Justin, you want to sign up for a Southwest flight to Chicago? Come celebrate the new year with us? He's like, no comment.
Will I make it? That's the big question.
Maybe another airline.
At least for now, we've got to let them get the kinks out. But yes, they have a lot of questions to answer. Justin, live in Washington, thank you so much for your reporting and staying on top of this story. Now to the latest on a story that was breaking news last night at 10. A man pushing a wheelchair has been killed in a hit and run on Chicago's South Side.
It happened last night near 94th and Ashland Avenue.
Diane Pathew is live at the scene on the South Side with an update. This really heartbreaking story, Diane.
Samantha and Tanya, police tell us that driver hit both of those men, the man in the wheelchair and the man pushing him across the street. Here's what we know. It happened at around 6:30 p.m. here where we're standing in the 9400 block of South Ashland. Police say a man was pushing a 56-year-old man in a wheelchair across the street when they were both struck by a 2007 white Chevy SUV going northbound. The driver did not stop. The man who was pushing the man in the wheelchair died here at the scene. The man in the wheelchair transported to Christ Hospital in serious condition. At least one of them was dragged by the vehicle all the way to 89th and Ashland, so several blocks away. Police say right now they are looking for the driver of that vehicle. Samantha and Tanya, back to you.
Thank you, Diane. Chicago Police Superintendent David Brown will discuss the city's safety plan for the holiday weekend today. The city's main focus will be the ways in which it is planning to keep people safe tomorrow night. Superintendent Brown will speak to media at 11:30 this morning.
Confusion is growing over Illinois' controversial SAFE-T Act after a new ruling. Late Wednesday night, a Kankakee County judge struck down the part of that law that ended cash bail, ruling that it's unconstitutional. But that decision only applies to the more than 60 counties where the law was challenged, including McHenry, DeKalb, Kendall, Grundy, Will, and Kankakee. Other counties, including Cook, DuPage, Kane, and Lake, are not impacted.
Could now be that whether or not you are held on a bail or a money bond prior to trial could be determined by your zip code.
Illinois Attorney General Kwame Raoul plans to appeal the ruling directly to the Illinois Supreme Court. Lawmakers who support the ruling will ask the Supreme Court to declare the entire SAFE-T Act unconstitutional.
The Bradley police community will gather for a private service this morning to remember fallen police sergeant Marlene Ritmanick.
Last night, a vigil was held for Ritmanick 1 year to the date that she lost her life on the line of duty.
I'll be your candle on the water.
Friends and family gathered for a candlelight vigil at the Bourbonnais Hotel. That's where she and her partner, Officer Tyler Bailey, were shot. Now, Bailey, who was seriously hurt, returned home from rehab just last month. Sergeant Ritmanick's loved ones say they chose this location of the tragedy to change their memory of what happened there.
Now, when I drive past this location every day on my way to work, I will remember everybody's faces and all the blue lights shining.
Today's private service will be held at 10 this morning at Bradley Bourbonnais Community High School.
New this morning, video shows water spraying everywhere in a building in Skokie overnight. This is in the 5100 block of Gulf Road. We're told this is an unoccupied office building, and this was caused by a burst pipe. The fire department is there helping to clean up the mess.
Displaced tenants of an apartment building in Hyde Park now have a clearer idea about what's happening next. Hotel stays have been extended, we're told, through Tuesday for those impacted by a power outage. And Mac Properties, which manages the building, says tenants can choose to move into another Mac property. They also have the option of terminating their leases since they've now been without heat or electricity for more than 72 hours.
Walgreens is closing one of its most well-known stores in Chicago's Wicker Park neighborhood. The store in the former Knoll State Bank building on Milwaukee near Damon will shut down January 31st. Walgreens officials say a number of factors played a role in their decision, including dynamics of the local market. Prescription files will automatically transfer to another Walgreens about a half-mile south on Milwaukee.
Happening today, Mega Millions fever is growing as the jackpot has climbed to $640 million.
You might need that old bank at the Six Corners there in Bucktown to stow away all your cash. The winner's cash option is expected to top $328 million. We will have the winning numbers tonight on Eyewitness News at 10. Good luck, everybody.
Time now is 7:10. Your live and local news is just getting started as we stream out loud this morning. George Santos faces new controversy. What the embattled congressman-elect is now telling Republican leaders as new questions are raised about how he portrayed his mother's death.
But first, Greg has your AccuWeather forecast on this final day of 2022.
Welcome back. Residents of Western New York are going through shoveling snow, going from shoveling snow to filling sandbags and now bracing for a big meltdown that's expected to bring massive flooding. ABC's Andrew Dimbert has the latest.
This morning, Americans from coast to coast are preparing to ring in the new year as severe storms bring heavy snow and drenching rain.
This is crazy. Oh boy.
Roads in Colorado reopened after a storm caused a stretch of I-70 to close for 9 hours, bringing drivers to a standstill.
There has been so many accidents and so many stuck vehicles that I-70 has now been shut down for almost 10 hours. There's been a few people that I think were in the tunnel that were a little worried about carbon monoxide, and they had their kind of doors propped up with like a towel in front of.
And on the West Coast, an atmospheric river is set to disrupt New Year's travel as new winter storm watches and warnings are posted in Colorado, Utah, Nevada, and California. Meanwhile, in blizzard-ravaged western New York, the death toll continues to rise, with 39 deaths now confirmed in the area, and we're learning more about those who lost their lives, including Ladrice Curry, who died after having an asthma attack, the storm slowing rescuers who could not reach her in time.
I just want her to know that, I loved her son loved her, the whole family loved her.
And this morning, police in the town of Cheektowaga are looking for this man, who they're calling Merry Christmas Jay. Officers want to thank the man after he pulled people from cars and sheltered them in a nearby school. Heroic actions, they say, saved people's lives. Meanwhile, flooding is now the major concern in the Buffalo area.
With temperatures rising, the snow is starting to melt. Officials are clearing storm drains in anticipation of any flooding, and the state is on standby with 800,000 sandbags.
Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, New York.
Meanwhile, here at home, certainly nothing like they're dealing with in the East Coast. Of course, we're taking a live look at Woodstock right now. Tanya, you looked up to what today was, and it was bicarbonate of soda day. Now, I'm no scientist, but you all break it down. What does that mean exactly?
Baking soda.
Baking soda.
Baking soda.
It's the stuff that keeps your fridge smelling good.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yep.
The things you use to leaven baked goods.
Yep.
All right. Well, National Baking Soda Day.
It's one of the only things that can make a hockey bag not smell like something died in it.
Okay. Well, there we go.
Greg would know.
Yes.
Bicarbonate
of soda would be.
Bicarbonate of sodium.
Would be the word that
I think
they
you said
used.
sodium.
Sodium bicarbonate.
Sodium bicarbonate
is the chemical name for it.
All right, there we go. And tossing over to Greg, our scientist.
Yeah, not chemist though. Thankfully I got to drop the chemistry courses after one and just went with physics and math, which are my stronger suits. Chemistry, I don't know, it just never really clicked all the way for me. Love me some physics though. Love me some cloud cover too during the overnight hours. The reason behind that is it keeps us warmer to start mornings, and when you're walking out the door like I am at 2-something, every degree matters. 45 degrees now, but it was 54 when I walked out early today, and that's really pleasant by late December, almost early January standards. And our wind has changed, now fully out of the west at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Southwesterly winds, they are going to unfortunately fall by the wayside. They helped us warm up. They're not going to be with us here through the rest of today, and we will cool down to about the upper 30s to lower 40s during the afternoon. We've already hit our daytime high, already peaked. Now our temperatures going into New Year's Eve and New Year's Day are going to be pleasant, but we're still going to have some clouds, and not without its difficulties is New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. Typically, there's something we're dealing with, whether it's snow and cold, winds. This is pretty easy to get around. Scattered showers and fairly warm temperatures. But looking ahead at the next system, this is Monday and into Tuesday. Rain will fall Monday evening. There's even some rumbles of thunder in here. You see those yellows that show up, some moderate to heavy rainfall possible early Tuesday morning. Yes, you can hear rumbles of thunder for 2023 before you see snow, light snow on Wednesday as that system cycles on through. Expect those temperatures to be pretty warm, of course, when it's raining, enough for it to thunder, with 54 as the high on Tuesday. Jeremy?
Well, Greg, we're seeing some big problems on the westbound Jane Addams. Traffic coming at you. That's where the issue is. We have 3 right lanes blocked just before Route 25 due to a very serious crash. Chopper 7 HD is headed to the scene so we can get a better picture, but this is what you're seeing right now. Details are very slim, but what we do know is it is pretty serious. As you take a look at the map over here, you are seeing a pretty hefty delay approaching the scene. Elsewhere, not looking too bad on the rest of your expressways. 55 southbound still heavy from Caton Farm to before Black Road with that stalled semi in the 2 left lanes. That should be clear here shortly. Samantha and Tanya.
All right, Jeremy, thank you so much. Now to new details in the tales of George Santos. The congressman-elect from New York says he will be one term and done on Capitol Hill. The news comes as more lies about his past catch up to him. Here's ABC's Andrea Fujii.
This morning, ABC News has learned New York Congressman-elect George Santos is telling local Republican leaders that he will not seek re-election in 2024 as his background comes under even more fire.
Watching this slow George Santos train wreck take place, we need to stand together because we do not want to be represented by a clown.
The Nassau County Republican chairman says the Republican Party would not support Santos in 2024, writing in a statement, "I don't know what party would endorse him as a candidate." Santos is set to take office next week and refuses to step aside despite calls for him to resign as more possible lies about his schooling and family come to light. Santos claimed he attended the New York private school Horace Mann, but the school claims there is no record of him.
They sent me to a good prep school, which was Horace Mann Prep in the Bronx.
And Santos suggested his grandparents survived the Holocaust, playing up his Ukrainian Jewish roots, but Santos himself is Catholic.
To lie about being descendants of Holocaust survivors for the purpose of political gain is beyond unacceptable.
Federal and local prosecutors are investigating whether Santos committed any crimes involving his finances and lies about his background. Santos has apologized for, quote, embellishing his resume. Meanwhile, top Republican leaders in Washington are staying silent, including Congressman Kevin McCarthy and Senator Mitch McConnell. If Santos were to resign, Republicans would lose a House seat, which would require a special election for a swing seat that Republicans just flipped in the midterms. Andrea Fujii, ABC News, New York.
Andrea, thank you. Former President Donald Trump's tax returns are expected to be released today by the House Ways and Means Committee. That's according to a congressional aide who spoke on condition of anonymity. Now, the Democratic-controlled committee voted last week to release Mr. Trump's returns with some redactions of sensitive information like Social Security numbers and contact information as well. A special mass will be held today to honor former Pope Benedict XVI. It will be at Benedict's former cathedral where he served during his time as the Bishop of Rome. The Vatican said the former Pope is lucid and alert, but his health situation remains serious. Now, Pope Francis is renewing his call for prayers. Still to stream this morning, the college campus that will be depicted in one of the most amazing floats for the Rose Bowl parade.
Eyewitness News streaming at 7 continues after a break.
So for the cut in, I want I'm going to do ABC2 off the top, so totally 2.
Volunteers are busy putting the final touches on floats for the annual Rose Parade. One of those floats is a replica of the campus of nearby Claremont McKenna College. Now, that college turned 75 and students have been racing to get ready for Monday's parade. You can catch the float in the entire Rose Parade Monday, January 2nd on ABC7, and that is starting at 10 a.m. Right now, we are going to join our friends on Good Morning America, our viewers, and we're going to have an update on TV, but we will be right here soon.
Yep, you'll see that shortly. And when we come back, more on a bittersweet goodbye. A suburban salon that has been serving the community for more than 50 years gets ready to close its doors. She's making Chicago proud this morning.
Thank you.
Now, an update from ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Good morning. It is 7:23. I'm Samantha Chapman. Chicago police are searching for the driver involved in a deadly hit and run on the south side. It happened around 6:30 last night near 94th and Ashland. Police say a man was pushing a 56-year-old man in a wheelchair across the street when both were struck by a white Chevy SUV. The man pushing the wheelchair was pronounced dead at the scene. The other was taken to Christ Hospital in serious condition. We're told at least one of the men was dragged nearly 5 blocks. We're going to get a check of our traffic now with Jeremy Scott. Jeremy.
Well, Samantha, still some big problems on I-90 westbound where we got some better information on this crash. It is actually a minor injury crash. It was a hit and run crash involving an SUV. 3 of your right lanes still taken out. As you see from the map, you have delays all the way back from Beverly Road. Now, the rest of the road's looking pretty good. 55 southbound, still a little tight around Black Road. That's actually cleared off after the earlier stalled semi. Greg has your forecast after a short break.
Now's the time for a healthy start. So let's move. Let's rest and recharge. And put our health first. Let's be well. To do that, let's eat well. Breathe deep. Find joy in the little moments. And do what we love with who we love. Together, let's live well. Advocate Aurora Health.
Good morning, everyone. I want to give a quick rundown of our 7-day forecast as temperatures through the next 7 days are running warmer than normal, even though we're having a cool down. We were near 60 yesterday, like we can get that every day during late December. Obviously cannot. Would be nice, but we can't. We may actually end up with rumbles of thunder in 2023 before we observe snowfall. That does not happen very often here as we see the temperature of 54 degrees, heavy rain showers Monday into Tuesday, possibly over an inch of rainfall there, and then a chance of snow on the backside of the system. Now for your New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, not looking bad. Our temperatures will be in the mid-30s as we ring in the new year, above freezing, not windy, not snowing, perhaps a couple of rain showers. We'll be right back.
Welcome back, everyone. Taking a live look now. 40, is that 44 degrees? Yeah, not too bad for end of December, our final Friday and our final streaming show of the year. How about that? Well, it is an end of an era for a well-known beauty salon in north suburban Libertyville. Sheer Fashion Beauty Salon is set to close tomorrow after serving customers for more than 50 years. Its owner, Nancy Grimaldi, says the goodbye to clients and friends will be bittersweet.
What do you think you're going to miss most about not being here on a daily basis?
The people. Definitely, it's the people.
Besides serving clients at the salon, Grimaldi was known for doing hair of the customers or clients, patients rather, who were in hospitals, assisted living facilities. She also went to nursing homes too, and you know, that really can brighten the spirits of people who may be, you know, stuck at home and can't go out. So it's really a beautiful woman and awesome that she's been doing this for so long.
Well, as somebody whose grandmother was in a nursing home, my grandmother who recently passed away, she insisted on always having her hair done.
Yes.
And so that expression of human love and service is just the most wonderful gift for families.
Absolutely.
We thank her for what she's done. Coming up this morning, some of the showbiz news that made headlines in 2022. We'll look back as we close out this year.
And remembering the queen of British fashion who gave birth to punk and built a global empire.
You're watching ABC7 Eyewitness News at 7, streaming live now.
Let's take a look at some of the quick stories that we have for you that we'll be watching for today. Southwest Airlines says it intends, keyword intends, to resume normal flight operations at airports across the U.S. today. This after days of system-wide cancellations and delays. Southwest is promising to compensate passengers who were stranded during the chaos. The big question is, how long will it take for them to be compensated, right?
Well, the Bradley Police Department will host a private memorial service later this morning for Sergeant Marlene Ritmanek. Friends and family gathered last night for this candlelight vigil at the Bourbonnais Hotel, where she and her partner, Officer Tyler Bailey, were shot 1 year ago. Bailey returned home from rehab just last month. Today's private service will be will start at 10 a.m. at Bradley Bourbonnais Community High School.
Tonight could be someone's chance to end 2022 as a millionaire. The Mega Millions drawing is now at $640 million. The winner's cash option is expected to top $328 million. We will have the winning numbers tonight on Eyewitness News at 10. And yeah, I got to get my ticket. I'm going to try for it. I rarely do it, but I think I'm feeling lucky. End of the year, like it's mine.
Or it's mine.
Or it's Greg's.
Greg's not playing.
I do not participate. I'd rather get something from, this is going to sound sad. I'd rather get something from the dollar menu at McDonald's because then I'm getting something for my money. Yeah, exactly. And I'm hungry right now. So I would do basically anything for an egg McGriddle. 34 degrees, that is not an ad, although it should be. At 34 degrees, our temperature in Hampshire now, 36 in McHenry, and it's 47 out there in Oak Lawn. 50 degrees in Gary. Our temperatures will fall off with time today as we get behind a cold front. There are still some scattered showers in northwest Indiana. Those will go away too. And it's just kind of damp, a little bit cooler, a lot of it cooler in some cases than it was yesterday. But things will warm back up. As we head into the first week of the new year, we could grab some 50s again and maybe rumbles of thunder, something we will take this time of year as many times as we can. It's just another day off of the list before we finally get to March to start warming things maybe back up again. We'll talk to Jeremy about traffic right now.
And Greg, you talk about those damp conditions. You might want to increase your braking distance as well because things are just going to be a little slick out there. For the most part, we're looking pretty good out there on our expressways and our tollways. Still have that delay on I-90 westbound, but in northwest Indiana, 65 southbound heavy around 101st Avenue. That's all from an earlier crash. Still in the two left lanes in the cleanup process where a box truck is actually being loaded on the back of a flatbed. Let's go over to I-90 westbound where some much better news there. 3 of your right lanes were blocked off from an earlier crash. Let's take a look at our tollway camera in that stretch. As you can see, everything moved off to the right shoulder. Samantha and Tanya.
Thank you, Jeremy. And now to today's talkers. The entertainment headlines in 2022 were unpredictable, to say the least.
Yeah, you can say that again. Here's Jason Nathanson with all of the top stories coming out of Hollywood this past year.
A couple of things nobody had on their 2022 bingo card at the beginning of the year: that Will Smith would slap Chris Rock on stage at the Oscars, and Kanye West would declare his love for Hitler. But both happened during this crazy year. Smith slapped Rock after Rock made a joke about Smith's wife, Jada Pinkett Smith, and her close-cropped hair, the result of a disease called alopecia. Rock apparently didn't know about the condition. An enraged Smith marched on stage and smacked Rock in the face, earning him a 10-year ban from the award show. He also resigned as a member of the Academy. Kanye West is the celebrity who possibly most went off the rails in 2022. Ye, who has been diagnosed with bipolar disorder, frequently spewed conspiracy theories and anti-Semitic beliefs, which led Adidas and The Gap to cut ties with the rapper.
And the allegations were...
Johnny Depp and ex-wife Amber Heard's libel trials were must-see TV, bringing outrageous revelations of messy sheets and domestic abuse. The jury awarding Depp more than $10 million in damages, but also giving Heard $2 million. After threats of appeals, they've since settled. Harvey Weinstein, also back on trial in 2022, convicted once again of rape and other sexual assault counts in Los Angeles. The former movie mogul facing more decades in prison on top of the 23-year sentence he's currently serving in New York.
It's one of life's mysteries, sir.
The box office tried to rebound from the pandemic in 2022, but it couldn't fully recover. Top Gun Maverick, one of the few movies to take off. To date, only It, Jurassic World Dominion, and Avatar: The Way of Water have earned $1 billion worldwide, compared to 9 films that earned $1 billion in 2019.
Coda!
At the Oscars, Coda made history, the first film featuring a mostly deaf cast to win Best Picture, and the first film from a streaming service, Apple, to win Best Picture. Apple TV Plus also winning Best Comedy at the Emmys again for Ted Lasso, HBO scoring a bunch of Emmys for The White Lotus, and Best Drama winner, Succession. Taylor Swift once again dominated the music world, dropping her 10th studio album, Midnights, which became the biggest selling album in years. Swift also made history with the songs from Midnights occupying spots 1 through 10 on the Billboard Hot 100 singles chart. First time that's ever happened. Nice. Bad Bunny also had a huge year. His album Un Verano Sin Ti was Apple Music and Spotify's most streamed of the year globally, and the first Spanish-language album nominated for Album of the Year at the Grammys.
Love Bad Bunny.
People love Bad Bunny.
Yeah,
like
people should. It's great music.
Yeah, like he sells out all of his concerts and stuff. I'm not up on Bad Bunny yet, but I've got to find a good groove from Bad Bunny. You have one?
I mean, I like reggaeton in general.
Okay.
And you know, and Latin music in general.
All right,
It's in my blood.
It's in your blood. Well, shoot, I want to get a little flavor too. So let me listen.
Girl,
to
you
some-
got flavor to spare. You are already on the train. It's all good.
Okay. Time now is 7:36. We are going to, I believe, are we checking in with Greg now?
We are indeed.
All right. Greg.
Hi.
Hi.
What's up, guys?
Yeah.
I think are we talking about the weather or the entertainment
Or
stories?
Bad Bunny?
Or Bad Bunny?
Entertainment.
Bad Greg.
Entertainment? Yeah, I am your entertainment.
Yeah, come on, Bad Greg, give us some.
Let's start pulling up Bad Bunny instead.
Wait, yeah, what? I honestly am not, because I'm a dad and I listen to Super Simple songs on YouTube, I am not familiar with a lot of Bad Bunny songs at all. Like, I don't know if I heard them on the radio, if I would be like, oh yeah.
You have Titi me preguntó is like a big one right now. Titi, my aunt asked me is like the translation.
How does it go?
Titi, I'll pull it up for you.
Okay.
Are we allowed?
Wait, how much are we allowed to play of this?
Like 5 seconds.
Like 5 seconds
Fair
of it.
use.
Let me see what I can find. Titi me
All
preguntó.
right, this better be good, Tanya. Okay, you got 5 seconds.
Okay. And done.
Right,
okay.
It'll be $140,000. I have not heard this song. I swear to you.
Well, perhaps you should. And before I get fired,
if it doesn't go, if it doesn't start down by the bay.
No, it does not. What does it say about me? So I swear to you, I do this. I have a loop. I get at 3 o'clock every day. I get the dog on his leash.
Yeah.
I walk to the preschool. He's like the school mascot there. He comes inside with me. We pick up Joe, put her in the stroller, and then walk to the elementary school to go pick up my big girls. Joe will wear one of my earbuds, and we will listen to like reggaeton or Beyonce. She's like, Mommy, I want to listen to grown-up music.
Oh, there you go.
She's super into it.
I made that
and then I
mistake.
don't get like a million questions on the walk. I just get to chill out, listen to music, and she's bopping in the stroller with me.
That's not bad. That sounds relaxing.
Yeah.
For one, I
My
don't
3-year-old can sing along with Lizzo. I don't know if that's good or if it's
you know, all of the lyrics.
no, not well. Except she says it's about that time. She doesn't know that that's not the lyric.
It's about time.
Okay,
Gotcha.
yeah. We'll keep it that
That's
way.
a clean version.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, it's the 3-year-old version.
So what's on tap for the weather, Greg?
You know,
What we got?
weather-wise today, temperatures will drop off just a little bit here during the afternoon. It's a problem of the cold front, so we'll track that through the area as temperatures will fall into about the lower 30s by 1 to 6 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. Mostly cloudy skies. They stick with us all the way through the weekend, too. We'll have that forecast. More details coming up.
All right, Greg, thank you so much for that. And throughout the year, we have brought you best cities and best of stories featuring Chicago or Illinois.
And as we inch closer to the new year, we're looking at some of the other lists Chicago and Illinois made in 2022. Greg, we're looping you back in for this. Here's a list of the best cities. We fell at number 1 for cheese lovers.
Wow.
Aurora's 9, Naperville 22nd. Can somebody explain this to me?
Well, we eat a lot of cheese in Naperville, I will tell you that, out in the bubble. So this does not surprise me.
Are you big on cheese, Tom?
I mean, I have a house full of people who are either allergic to dairy or lactose intolerant, so we don't eat much of it. I do
But
like
you do
cheese.
love it.
I do like cheese very much.
It's about if you love it, not if your body can tolerate it.
Yeah, right. I love it. I love it. It does not love me. Is that what they say?
Yes.
Yes. So there it is. To the best cities for naked biking.
Oh, come on. How many cities are doing that?
Girl, you would be surprised.
Really?
200 U.S. cities measured on a variety of metrics to determine which were the best for biking in the buff, which just sounds uncomfortable. Chicago ranks first. Rockford, I'm not doing it right, says Greg. Rockford, number 111th. Aurora, 119. Naperville, 120. I guess they're all kind of looped it. But how did they not rank better despite being in close proximity to Chicago? Because we have the naked bike ride.
The prairie bike path out in Naperville is very exposed to the elements, Tanya, and that's just not good for nude biking.
I mean, I've seen the naked bike ride past our State Street studios. I've seen all kinds of things.
I've never seen anything.
I have not seen anybody naked on a bike ever.
No.
You've never seen anything naked on anyone?
No.
No. I mean, they ride by the studio. I'm not kidding you. I've seen somebody in like
I'm not working the right days, apparently.
like in chaps with nothing else in front of the. You see, this is what happens when you create a human
draws the straw
fishbowl,
to track
that
this.
don't do me a favor, don't tap on the glass.
It seems uncomfortable. Like,
Yeah.
Like, that's a
Yeah.
lot flying around. You know,
Well,
like.
yeah. I would agree.
That was an unnecessarily elaborate way of
I'm
Flying around.
I'm just. Okay, anyway.
a little messy there.
I mean, like their hair is blowing in the air. Like.
Girl, the hair is blowing with or without clothes. ABC7 Eyewitness News continues streaming out loud after the break. I don't think that's what you meant. We are back in 90 seconds.
Good morning, everyone. Taking a look at our forecast for New Year's Eve and into New Year's Day, the all-important holiday. We know our temperatures fall into the upper 40s here today, or upper 30s rather, lower 40s today. But late on New Year's Eve, we stick with pretty much the same forecast. Clouds, some sprinkles, and temperatures that stay in the mid to upper 30s to around 40 degrees. What a nice way to ring in the new year, above freezing. And I mentioned this earlier, but we may hear rumbles of thunder on the new year before we see our temperatures drop off for enough snow. That is a big change versus where we normally are. 54 degrees for our Tuesday, down to the upper 30s for our Wednesday forecast, and that may bring in some snowflakes as things start to wrap themselves up, or I should say start in the new year. Now our temperatures, they are going to be a bit on the warmer side of warmer side of normal all the way through the extended forecast. We'll look at traffic with Jeremy coming up.
Well, Greg, I got to say, things have really calmed down since our last report because we're not seeing any issue at this time. I want to head to Chopper 7 HD real quick, or they got back up and while they were filming some footage of Midway, looks like I possibly saw a crash, but look at the traffic in and out of Midway. That's actually looking pretty good so far this morning. So if you need to head to the airport, or hopefully you can get on your flight and head out of town. Actually, well, it looks like there might be a crash right there on the northbound side, just past 55th with the semi. So might want to keep apprised of that and stay in the two left lanes leaving Midway. Back over to the maps where CTA is offering free rides from 10 p.m. Saturday until 4 a.m. on Sunday. You're also seeing Metro providing free travel on all trains departing from the downtown stations after 6 on Saturday. And if you have to take public transit, any line, whether it's CTA, Metro Pace, or the South Shore Line, they'll all be running on the Holiday Sunday schedule on Monday. Samantha and Tanya.
All right, Jeremy, thanks so much. Disney is honoring the Marvel Comics legend Stan Lee with their newest project. On Wednesday, Disney Plus announced plans to release an original documentary about Lee's life. The announcement came on what would have been Lee's 100th birthday. The iconic comic book writer co-created some of Marvel's most popular characters, including Spider-Man, the Avengers, and X-Men. Lee went on to appear in the comics himself and make cameos in Marvel Studios films. Now, Stan Lee died in 2018 at the age of 95 years old, and Disney is the parent company of ABC7.
Those cameos were iconic. Love looking back at those. So you might have been busy this year, but you probably weren't as busy as Nick Cannon. The Masked Singer host fathered his 12th child this year. His newest daughter, Halo Marie Cannon, was born December 14th. She is Cannon's 5th child to be born this year alone, but the only one mothered by his wife, model Alyssa Scott. The other 4 children all have different moms. Scott announced the birth on Instagram Thursday. Not just different moms, but like some of the kids were born at the same time to different women. There's an arrangement going on here.
Yes, but I do love the name Halo Marie.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
Love it. And he and his wife suffered a terrible loss.
Yes, they did.
When their last child passed away from after a battle with cancer. And so we are thrilled for them. A child is always a joyful thing.
A blessing, yeah.
And the man makes a lot of babies.
Yes, he does. But you know, I was watching an interview and he was like, hey, I enjoy having these kids.
And he takes care of them.
Yeah, I enjoy having children in my life. So,
and these women are aware of, his relations.
Yeah, they know what it is. So it's like these are all consenting adults and they want to make babies, let them make babies.
I mean, I got 3 babies and that's enough for me.
Yeah.
That's a lot. 12?
Hey, he's got the bread. He's got the money, right? He's a talented guy. So
not for long if he keeps having them.
Well, he's a working guy, though. He's still working guy, So we'll hope for the best, right?
We are back with more news in 90 seconds.
The world is remembering a British fashion designer, Vivienne Westwood. She died at the age of 81.
A statement from her eponymous company says the style icon died surrounded by family at her home in London yesterday. Westwood was known as the queen of extreme, making punk couture mainstream.
Here's Anna Stewart, who looks back at her life and legacy.
The queen of punk fashion. Dame Vivienne Westwood's runways never failed to be provocative. Her designs inspired countless trends, underwear as outerwear, unisex collections, and outrageous heels. Her clothing also a vehicle to promote human rights and sustainability.
You've got to buy less, choose well, make it last.
Westwood's decades-long career in fashion began almost by accident in the 70s, when she tapped into the subculture of Britain's youth. She never went to fashion school, but rose to fame designing clothes worn by the Sex Pistols. A group managed by her then-boyfriend, Malcolm McLaren, creating what became the look for an emerging punk scene.
It's true that I and my then boyfriend are responsible for punk fashion, definitely. I don't particularly want to talk about punk, I want to talk about the punk attitude.
The couple rebranded their London boutique, they called it Sex, and broke taboos by selling rubber and bondage clothing.
The thing is, I wasn't even trying to shock people. I was, I don't know, I was angry. Yeah, I mean, just like all young people. They always want to be rebels, the young generation, and so they should be.
Years later, the Westwood brand went global, also landing a starring role on the silver screen.
And finally, Vivienne Westwood. A dress so special,
it could bring a wedding tear from even the most unbelieving of women.
The designs ended up in museums around the world, but for Westwood, culture was a give and take.
I don't follow things, and I get all my ideas from the past, from culture, from paintings.
Ideas that also inspired her to design 12-inch platform heels, made famous by that fall.
There's a trick to walking in your
Let
shoe.
me tell you, stop. The reason you fell is because you had these rubber tights.
Yes!
Yes!
A rebel with many causes, Westwood seamlessly blended haute couture with activism.
We can end poverty. We can have a paradise. We can have a green economy.
Anti-establishment views did not prevent her from receiving the Queen's honours, although the establishment she fought against sometimes hit back, with others questioning how eco-friendly her fashion was.
Don't extradite Assange.
In her senior years, she led protests against the extradition of Julian Assange, as well as climate change and fracking.
It's one of our last fights before we hit complete disaster.
Among many in British society, the fashion industry and the Green movement, Westwood was adored.
Such an icon.
Such an interesting woman.
Fierce?
Interesting life. Fierce indeed, yes.
Yeah.
Good way to describe her. More news coming up.
Eyewitness News streaming at 7 continues after a break.
We are less than 48 hours from the new year, and we are so excited, super excited to see Terrell and Cheryl just dance the night away.
Countdown Chicago returns as we say goodbye to 2022 and welcome to 2023. Here's your sneak peek.
Hey Cheryl, hey Terrell, we're getting reports at the 911 center of strange activity over there. Please be careful.
It's that last shot, the shot with the giant flying, is it a pterodactyl? I mean, we're at the Field Museum. Could it be? This is so fun. So this would be the 12th time we've seen this, Sam?
Maybe 13.
Lucky 13. A night at the Field Museum. Can't wait. Hopefully you can't too. I can't believe we're saying goodbye.
Goodbye. This is the last streaming show of the year.
2022. Do we have a 7 o'clock tonight, though?
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
We do. Well, the last 7 a.m. streaming show.
7 a.m. streaming show of 2022.
Yeah, thanks.
And we were honored to be here with you.
Yeah, thanks for having us. Well, you're new to.
I'm a guest. Yeah, I'm guest.
You're a guest.
Too.
Thanks for having all of us. We'll see you all again at Eyewitness News at 11 a.m.
This has been Eyewitness News streaming at 7. Now, an update from ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Good morning. It is 7:56. I'm Samantha Chapman. In just a few hours, Chicago Police Superintendent David Brown will discuss the department's safety plan for the holiday weekend. Their main focus will be how to keep people safe tomorrow night. Among the many events across the city is the annual New Year's Eve fireworks show at Navy Pier, of course. This is video from last year's downtown fireworks display. Tens of thousands of people are expected to attend. Superintendent Brown will address the media at 11:30 this morning. Now let's take a look at traffic with Jeremy Scott. Jeremy.
Now,
Well, good morning, everybody. For the most part, we're looking pretty good out there on our expressways and our tollways. We're seeing no delays, but if you are traveling through the Garfield Ridge area, right around Midway, got a crash involving a semi in the right lane northbound Cicero at 55th. Starting this afternoon at around 3, no additional temporary lane closures for construction, at least, through early Monday morning. Greg?
And a look at our weather forecast for the next couple of days is featuring warmer than normal temps. We're in the mid-40s for our Sunday and our Monday. That's New Year's Day, of course, and then the second day of January. But New Year's Eve, some hints of sun possible during the daylight hours, mainly cloudy skies and a couple scattered showers during the overnight. But the good news there is that our temperatures do not drop below freezing to ring in the new year. Sometimes we're talking about dropping below 0, especially when you factor in the wind. So that is ideal, aside from the scattered, very light showers. Heavier rainfall arrives Tuesday. We could even have rumbles of thunder before we observe snow for the first time in 2022.